For me, this is probably the weirdest episode yet, because for me to arrive to Princess Leia the way she is, the way I intended her to look, we started out with some pretty wonky stuff, and at one point I have Princess Leia's eyes all the way up here and, you know, her nose down here because I'm trying to perfect the detail in them. So don't, at any point of this episode, think that, oh, this is going to look bad, because it does look like Princess Leia. In the end, she does get a lightsaber. It's all fine. Some people like to draw these elaborate shapes and everything, but I always feel like if you're going to draw over it anyway, why do you need an elaborate shape? Yes, if you were going to do something like a huge budget Disney film, but if you're just drawing a concept art piece, and it could be for something like an independent film, or if you get lucky to work for a studio, why do you need to do that? You're going to draw over it anyway, right? The belt is kind of hard to get ready and perfect because, you know, parts of it are shadowed and you just have to kind of draw over and over until you get it right. I practiced drawing one hand. It's not the final hand, so don't come and say, yeah, the hand looks too tiny. I know it's tiny. I just wanted to get the posture right. And I kind of looked at my own hand too, so I ended up erasing that hand and redrawing it. I started drawing her famous hairdo. So one thing, if you want to notice about the hairdo, is that you can see this deep center part right there when she's in the film in this particular scene. Originally in this scene, she's holding kind of like a laser beam weapon, and I wanted to make sure that she's seen positively for people who want to remember her, just because I think she has a legacy, and I wanted her to have kind of an action heroine legacy for the young people who might see this online, and not just like a damsel in distress. Obviously, I'm Luke Skywalker, I'm here to rescue you, that line. But I wanted her to be seen with a lightsaber. So I kept the posture and all the stuff from the original where we saw her with the weapon, but I wanted to make sure that she has a super cool lightsaber. Remember though, one very important thing, it is Star Wars and it is owned by Disney, so you cannot sell this. This is for you to hang out with your friends and just have fun drawing your favorite characters. I wanted to make sure before we switch the face and make the proportions better that I got the doe-eyed expression that is so pretty about her. That's why she was a movie star, because she was so beautiful. And I know I got a question about why I chose this as my first ever Princess Leia. I will answer that for you. The question I received from one person who's a Twitter friend was, why didn't I make the bikini as my first drawing of Princess Leia? And my answer is because I wanted it to be about celebrating this actress who was remembered for being an icon, and she brought back the role, and I don't want to make the first image of her something where I'm selling the beauty aspect, although she is very beautiful. I wanted it to be like she's in charge, she can kick butt on spaceships, and I wanted it to portray that first. And then you're going to have to add a bunch of dimensions to the eye color and the eyes. It's going to be very faded out in the final version, so if you don't add the detail now, it's going to be without any detail at all once you get into the lighting and all that stuff. This is a really fun one because it's the first time I use a lot of Facetune in drawing this. So you go and you add, of course, the blue lightsaber, but then in addition to all of whatever you see that I normally do with the face and adjusting the proportions and all that, the lighting, I'm so guilty of using Facetune in a lot of animation. People are like, you what? Like, they think that I sit all day long Facetuning my pictures. It's like, well, technically, but I Facetune my animation, I Facetune my drawings, and I Facetune just everyday stuff like leaves or something I draw in the cartoon. So it's really fun. And the lighting, the final one I did was actually not a Facetune app. It's another app that I installed on my phone, but they have similar apps that are all pretty much the same. And you can adjust light to be a bit bluer, a bit darker, a bit more contrast. And we are good to go. We have a Princess Leia portrait ready to share with your friends. I would print this out and give it away maybe for a Star Wars watching party